I was driving to work this morning, I was listening to another radio station, as we broadcasters sometimes do. What I heard shocked and saddened me.
The Entertainment Roundtable.
They're here, nerds.
Wait, is this the group that goes around mutilating squirrels?
You just mind your P's and Q's, Buster, and remember who you're dealing with.
Well, at least we found them.
Fortuitous, Captain. And now that we have them all together,
you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
The Entertainment Roundtable.
They make one person go, blah, 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 and the other person go, what are you talking about? And then one person goes, blah, 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 blah.
It's going to be interesting to try and get a word in edgewise today. The only guy that's missing totally from the show will be Ryan. He's on vacation. David running a little bit late. So as we kick off the show here, the Entertainment Roundtable, and the weekend here at Superstation 101 WIDE, I'm Steve West. I'm the host. The guy over there running the board. Jeff, how are you, sir?
You know, better than ever.
Better than ever, you sure?
Back on the attack and something like that. I don't know.
All the other little words that you can possibly come up with?
Hyperbole!
There you go. I like it. The guy sitting next to me on my right is a man who we have seen in studio a couple of times here recently. We're very pleased to have Jacob back.
Yeah, happy new season of Orange is the New Black Day.
Is that actually this weekend?
It's today.
Wow. All right, then. I've never seen an episode of it.
It's a great show. You should watch it.
All right. Sitting across from me is Josh. Welcome back to the show, man.
Thanks. I have nothing clever to say. I literally was thinking, like, what do I say? And then I was going to say, like, I'm doing better than Jeff, but...
What's the matter? You don't like women in prison stories?
You could be like, aren't you glad to see me?
Yeah, really.
That's the story of my ex-girlfriend, so...
Oh, there you go.
So when did
I
you
think
let her
there is
out?
a story there. That might be a show of an entirely different sort. Josh, you have brought a friend.
I brought a friend.
Please.
We're growing the Entertainment Roundtable.
Absolutely.
So this is Jeremiah Warren. Jeremiah works with us at Irwin Brothers. He's he probably knows more about movies than I do, so I thought I'd bring him on the show. He watched. Do
you want us to edit that part out so your bosses don't hear it?
Well, yeah. Sure.
Too late. It's on record.
He'll be fired Monday.
Exactly. Well, welcome in, Jeremiah. We appreciate it. We saw you Thursday night with the opportunity to check out the movie Edge of Tomorrow. We'll be talking about that here in just a few minutes and kind of changing some things up. We've talked many, many times about our Facebook page. For a while, I was firmly under the impression, because Facebook apparently has changed its rules. The last time I checked into changing the name of the Facebook page from the old Saturday show that I had, whatever, with Steve West, into Entertainment Roundtable, they've now opened up the ability to do it. Used to be that if you had 100 likes or more on your page, or 100 fans, as it was originally, they wouldn't allow you to change the name. Well, now you can petition Facebook for a name change. So I have officially petitioned. We'll see if they grant.
We're going to be all flying out to
in the meantime,
California and picketing.
Yeah, really. In the meantime, everybody that you hear here, and David will be as soon as he gets in here and we can get the minor bug worked out with his. But everyone else here has the ability to post things on that page as editors. So Jeff and Josh and Jacob, David, and myself,
is that an evil,
we're all throwing all
laugh?
kinds of entertainment-related stuff at you here. So it would be worth it for you to go and like that page, because you never know what's coming towards you.
It's only for entertainment stuff.
It could be. It doesn't have to be movie it could be movie, TV, could be music, it could be anything entertainment-related, by all means.
Post photos of what he's eating.
It just needs to be electrifying.
As long as it's entertaining and electrifying. Exactly.
Entertains me. Okay, good.
There you go.
I like broad.
If it entertains Jeff, you never know. You might
We're
be
going to
entertained.
lose all our fans.
Yeah, it's very possible.
They'll be replaced.
With better ones.
And tell all your friends if you already liked the page. Top 10 movies of the past weekend in here. The Other Woman still hanging in there at number 10, 1.3 million, 81.1. Chef in at number 9, 1.9 million, 6.8. Of course, very limited release film here, but a lot of big names in it. Anybody seen this?
I have not. What week is this on? Is this the first week?
It's the second week. It's actually in the top 10, but it's actually been out for, I think, 4 weeks now.
Yeah, they started with like 3 or 4 theaters, and they grew.
Okay. Exactly. Up to number 8 with $1 Million Arm, 3.5 million, so that's up to 28 million. The Amazing Spider-Man 2 dropping to 3.7 million take over the past weekend, 192.7. I'm not going to weep for the web slinger by any chance.
Who had that as their movie on
David.
David did?
David did?
I mean, it did well.
So. Yeah. By the way, we're going to do the full rundown here towards the end of the show. Neighbors, the comedy at number 6, 8 million, 129 even there. Blended at number 5, 8.1 million, 29.4. We talked about this a little bit outside last night, because when we were kind of doing our checkout and post-movie talk, we were standing right underneath the poster, and you said what about the Drew Barrymore Adam Sandler film?
Oh, I said negative things.
Yeah.
I think I jokingly said that it was like Edge of Tomorrow was almost as good as Blended.
Yeah. What I remember you saying is it looks stupid.
It looked. There's words I want to use, but I don't want to offend our audience.
Film, so.
It is an Adam Sandler film.
But it's kind of like Tyler Perry films. It's got that built-in audience. People will go to see it.
I mean, his last movie, Grown Ups 2 or whatever, made so much money, and I'm like, how?
I don't know. I never saw it. I think I remember seeing the first one, not in the theater.
I feel like everyone's remembering
Kevin
his
James,
older
man.
movies.
Hey, don't underestimate the power of Kevin James.
I love Kevin James.
Paul
Kevin
Blart,
James is awesome.
Cop.
Of course.
That and his role in what was the one where he matches people up? Hitch was just forever. I will love him for that.
Up to number 4, the monster film Godzilla made another $12,174.4 there. And then to number 3, A Million Days to Die in the West, debuted at $16.7 million. I don't know
Not
how.
a good.
That's
that's
lower than The Dictator. Made in its opening week. It's one of the biggest fails.
Yeah,
his last film was the
highest
rated highest grossing R-rated film, I think, comedy ever.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is the guy who did Ted, which was
made
a whole lot of money.
It was the highest grossing R-rated
but it had
comedy.
a cute teddy bear in it, so
Yeah, exactly. But this, I can't
More
see why
cuteness.
anybody actually wanted to go see it.
I thought it looked okay. I thought the concept was funny, but it was almost
conceptually it could have been funny, but the whole thing just fell flat on its face. Yeah. There were moments
Did you
where
see it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I didn't see it yet.
There were moments where it was legitimately funny.
Yeah.
And if you took all of those moments that were legitimately funny, it probably would have made up about the time that it would take to watch a Family Guy episode.
Yeah, that's the problem.
And you've got a 2-hour film. So you got like 22 minutes or so of really good quality, laugh out loud, funny stuff, and then you got to deal with the rest of an hour and 40 minutes of really?
Yeah, it just tried too hard. I mean,
Yeah.
And it was also the first film starring Seth MacFarlane, which is tough because his kind of running dialogue.
And it's not that he's a terrible actor, but he had that situation where he would come up with legitimately funny lines, and then the very next line out of his mouth would be like, "You followed that up with that?"
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate.
Did you guys rate that last week?
Yes.
What did you rate it?
5.
That's pretty high.
I think you went lower. Didn't you, Jacob?
It's got to be disappointing.
No, I think I went higher than you.
Did you?
I went 6.5, but I mean,
You went higher than that?
Was there a good story to it even?
The story is decent. I mean, it's not bad.
The basis of the story was actually pretty good.
It's got to be huge. This is the first time Seth MacFarlane's done anything, and it's failed, really.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't this only a second feature?
It's the second feature, but his first feature was the highest grossing R-rated comedy of all time. I mean,
Right.
People thought this is going to be a hit franchise.
Wait a second. His first feature was the highest rated
comedy of all time. 10.
Really? Was it?
I thought so. Could be wrong.
I just want to make sure you said it about 5 times.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say it 6 times. 10 was the highest grossing R-rated comedy of all time. All time.
Have we established that Ted was the highest grossing R-rated comedy of all
I
time?
just really want to
Thus far.
emphasize about Ted here.
It
was
you're
the
sure?
highest grossing.
Because we got
R-rated
22
film.
Jump Street in a couple weeks.
Highest grossing R-rated
And
movie.
you're
with
thinking
Teddy
that's going to
bear.
do it?
I don't see why not. I have a good feeling it's in my
Well,
bracket.
you think it's going to take become the highest grossing
Well,
R-rated
he's
comedy?
biased because he drafted it.
Yeah, I'm actually been praying it doesn't do well.
I'm sure you have.
Up to number 2, X-Men Days of Future Past, $32.5 million, $162 million. Actually good.
Yes.
Not great, but good
I was
film.
blown away by it.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Are you saying what was not great? You're saying the film wasn't great, or are you saying the box office isn't great?
No, the box office is fine, and the movie is very, very good.
Yeah.
To me, it's probably one of, if not the best film in the X-Men franchise.
I agree.
Yes.
I think it was
Yeah.
the best film of the X-Men franchise.
And
I
then you
loved
get
it.
to number 1, debuting at $69.4 million, the movie Maleficent. Who all has seen this? You have not had the chance to see it, Jeff. You have seen it.
I have not.
You have not. Jacob and I
seen it.
have gone to see it. Well, we'll start with you, Josh.
Yeah, I went into it with low expectations, which is the best way to go into a movie these days. because
Generally, yes.
They, my thing is, I think they should hire the directors of the commercials to direct the films, because the commercials are great these days. But I went into Maleficent not really expecting too much, and I was actually refreshingly blown away by it. I thought it was a interesting take on an old story. I kind of like when you take a fairy tale or something we all know very well and then do a different spin on it. So I thought was wrong with Snow White and the Huntsman. A lot of these films, they really didn't go too far away from reservation on them. And I thought this was a really interesting take from the evil, witch perspective, Maleficent, or fairy. And I thought I had a good time. I liked it. I mean, I wasn't blown away. I didn't think it was the best film I've ever seen, but I actually really liked it. And I want to see more films like this out of Disney. So I give it like a 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Jacob, where are you going?
I kind of disagree. I think they went too far away from the original storyline. I wanted when I came into
Hollywood
this
Squares, I have to disagree.
right, and X gets the square. So
Exactly.
I wanted this to be more like good versus evil from the point of view of evil.
So you wanted it to be really bad.
Right. I was okay at the beginning with giving her like this where she used to be a good person and then something bad happened and now she's evil. But like she needed to be evil throughout the whole story. And I didn't like that they made her more of a humanized character. I wanted her to be bad.
Yeah.
And that was a little bit of a letdown for me. Visually it's fantastic. And I really enjoyed the music. If you're a music nerd like I am, you'll get some interesting things in there that they did really well. But overall, I didn't thoroughly enjoy it. For me, it's like a 5.5.
Really quick, I just wanted to add
Go
in
ahead.
something interesting. This might be a spoiler, so you might want to switch off the station if you haven't seen Maleficent yet.
Don't encourage anybody.
I'm sorry,
to
don't switch off the station. Just like
Spoiler
plug your ears.
alert.
Plug your ears.
Just
All
don't
right.
spoil anything.
Disney is Disney's been following. Like it's funny how they follow like trends. Like if you saw Frozen, there's a very interesting ending to Frozen, and a different like similar plotline. The evil, like the villain of Frozen, ends up being kind of the hero. Like you have this anti-hero kind of emphasis, and
where you're going with
also the spell is broken not by true love's kiss, but by something different. Like in this case, in the Frozen case, it was like the love of the sisters for each other broke. That was true love. In this film, Maleficent's love for the girl broke the curse, not true love's kiss. So it's interesting. They follow very similar trends in Disney, usually.
Yeah.
And so this is the new trend of kind of like this is what you thought it was going to be, but it's not. So I saw it coming from the movie. I'm like, oh, they're going to have Maleficent. It's going to break the true love.
Yep. When I looked at it, my one-word review of Maleficent is meh. I came away just kind of being kind of unimpressed.
I thought you were going to do something clever.
Visually, it was visually it was a great-looking film. I mean, the artwork, the concepts, the way that they did everything, it's a very great film. The acting is quite good, save for Angelina Jolie, whoever paid her to figure out the way to overact, you got your money's worth because, wow, that was just an overacting job from...
Nicolas Cage has got to make money somewhere. He's not an acting coach.
Maybe it was, but she came way over the top to me, and it just, oh, come on, whatever. And the fact that if you're familiar with the character, it Disneyfies the character. And this is their character. That's the thing that kind of kills me. They Disneyfied their own character. So there's a lot of things that I really came away from the film going, I'm not a big fan of this. It's a decent enough film. It just doesn't really do much for me. I give it a 5. I'm not that thrilled with it, to be real honest with you. But I understand the attraction to it, and kids are going to flock to it. I mean, that I understand. Absolutely. Ryan noted to us, by the way, X-Men Days of Future Past has already made more than $500 million worldwide, which makes it the highest-grossing film within that franchise. And you think they're 7 films deep with that franchise, so this to be the highest grossing film worldwide.
Singer really brought his A game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good one. Coming out this weekend, couple of films. One of them you're very interested in, at least because you drafted it.
Yes.
The Fault in Our Stars. Shailene Woodley, Laura Dern, and others filmed about 2 cancer patients who choose not to be victims despite their setbacks, strike into a romantic relationship. And I've been getting kind of mixed reviews. It kind of depends. I mean, I walked up and we were waiting to go see the film on Thursday, and we went to go see Edge of Tomorrow. We didn't go see Fault in Our Stars. Mm-hmm. But as we're waiting, they asked which one we were going to see. I told them, and I asked, have you seen The Fault in Our Stars? All 3 of the ladies that were behind the counter said that they had. And 2 of them said, I didn't like it. The other one said, absolutely love this film, but it's a tearjerker. Yeah. And I laughed. And I went, uh-huh?
Got some good news for Jeff. Jeremiah, you were just reading something about how well it did on Thursday, right?
Yeah, what was it, $8 million already?
About $8 million on a Thursday
very limited
showtime.
release.
Godzilla did $10 million.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You think about this weird dichotomy that this young girl said, that the fact that she laughed while she's hearing a whole bunch of people crying, she's laughing at all the people who are crying, and because the vast number of people who are in the movie theater going.
And this is the star of Divergent, right?
Yes.
The girl in it.
Shailene Woodley, yes.
So
Yeah, it's based on a book written by John Green, who is a YouTube star. So
that's interesting.
I need to go. I want to go see it now, just because it's like, this guy started on YouTube and then he writes a book, and now he has this movie that's doing really well. So
correct me if I'm wrong,
interest has
Jeff.
been piqued.
Okay.
You drafted this film based upon the title. You had no idea what this film was about.
I had no idea who was in it, what it was about. I was just like, hey, that's an interesting title. Why not?
So he drafts a film, and there's a pretty good likelihood he's drafted a film that's going to break
make
$100 million bucks.
No!
Yeah, I know. I've been reading articles today, being like, poised to be the biggest one of the weekend. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
woo.
exactly.
What other ones did he draft? Any big ones?
Oh, yeah, man.
How to Train Your Dragon 2.
22, Jump Street, How to Train Your Dragon.
If Jeff ends up winning this thing, I'm going to be
Transformers, and the one that got moved.
Yeah, which, by the way, we'll talk about that. Do we need to take a break?
You got about 16 minutes.
We need to take a break. When we come back, we will talk about the other major release film that we all went to go see last night, Thursday night. Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt, Bill Paxton, Edge of Tomorrow. We'll talk about it when we come back.
We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming, the Entertainment Roundtable on Superstation 101.
As we come back, if you have seen the movie Maleficent, you'll recognize this song. It's Lana Del Rey and Once Upon a Dream. Her version of it appears on that soundtrack. All right. Speaking of dreaming, not sure whether this was a dream or not. Depends on exactly your way of looking at the film, Edge of Tomorrow. We had the chance to go check it out last night, and because, Jeff, you were the only one so far who really hasn't given much of a review, we're going to start with you. Your thoughts on the Tom Cruise, Emily Blunt, Bill Paxton film, which I kind of look at as Groundhog meets Independence Day. Military man finds himself in a time loop until he meets a special forces member who trains him on how to defeat an enemy. Your thoughts?
I loved it.
Yeah?
It's top 3 of the movies I've seen this year. Somewhere, Captain America, X-Men, and this right there neck and neck together.
Wow, okay.
I thought it was fantastic. I thought, like you said, it's not an entirely brand new, groundbreaking concept, but at the same time, it's the kind of blockbuster you want. It doesn't take itself too seriously. Tom Cruise sort of starts out against type as this sort of cowardly PR guy for the military that gets thrust into this D-Day invasion against this alien race. And I just thought it was, once it gets going, it's got a great pace. It's got really good momentum. Everyone's really good in their roles. And you'll have fun with it. It's just a good time at the movies. I loved it. I give it a solid 9.
9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Where are you going with it, Josh?
See the movie. It's good.
It really is,
it's
man.
So good. Yeah, it was. I mean, it's been so long since I've watched a trailer for a movie. Said that looks awesome. Watch the movie. That was awesome. It's usually like, okay, really? The trailer was awesome. This is a piece of poop. So yes, loved it. Go see it. Very original. I like the combination, like you said, the Groundhog Day meets Independence Day. I'm a sucker for those like time kind of movies where you can go back in time, change things. I just liked all the space-time continuum kind of stuff. Tom Cruise was excellent in it. I really think this is a great career move for him. It's kind of bringing him back to those movies we love that he's in. He's obviously, movies like Oblivion and a couple other movies have been kind of like with him in it, and so don't be spoiled by that. These are good. This is a good movie. Emily Blunt was excellent. The action is great. The pacing is really good. I dare say it's a 10 out of 10.
Wow.
You want to talk about high praise.
That's like a billion.
I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it, but I freaking love it so much. I'm going to watch it tonight.
This guy right here came out and said at one point in time early on in this show that he absolutely loved the film. It was so great, I'm going to give it a 5. What?
I'm a hard critic to please, but I'm also a sucker when I just love a movie. Like when I
He would watch the trailer every
last
single
night.
day.
A friend texted me and was like, right after I got out of Edge of Tomorrow, and was like, "Hey, do you want to go see Edge of Tomorrow?" And I'm like, "I just got out of it. Do you want to see it right now? I'll go see it again."
Yeah, I will go right now.
Let's go.
I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't say I wasn't. I don't have quite the enthusiasm that Josh has. But
in general,
I don't know as any of us really do, but we're close.
I absolutely loved it. I mean, I would say this year, X-Men, the Lego Movie, and this are my top 3 favorite films, and it was really well done. It has a very. If this was a video game, if this was based off of a video game, it would have been like the absolute best video game movie ever made, I think. The action was great. It kept you drawn in. I would say at the beginning, I was a little sort of wondering, you have like this really cowardly guy. Where is this going?
Yeah.
But it really draws you in. And then also like the comedic moments that it had a little bit of comedic moments and very serious and emotional moments as well. And I also I think the ending of it was really good, just how it's like, I mean, you'd have to see the movie to get it, but it just cuts and it's like, oh, this is awesome. So
Okay. We rank everything on a scale of 1 to 10.
I would say I saw X-Men last week. I would rate that at a 9.5, maybe 10. I would say this movie is a 9.
Wow.
I think
So far,
9's the
we're-
consistent theme.
Yep, definitely so. Where are you going to go with it, Jacob?
I agree with most everything that's been said so far, so I'm not going to repeat all of that. It's a good movie. You got to go see it. It's good sci-fi action movie. I only had some minor things that were just very minor. The beginning is a little slow.
Yeah.
But once it gets going, you go. The story is fantastic. And then there were a couple of plot devices I felt like that they just kind of expected you just to believe, just, oh yeah, this is the way this is, and didn't really give you a lot of explanation of why can that thing do that, Other than that, I mean, like I say, and those are very, very minor things. So for me, it's like an 8.5.
Okay. We're averaging right around 9, a little over 9, and I'm gonna stay right there. I'm gonna start off with the 8.5. I agree with that. 8.5, 8.75. I can easily see that. And it's interesting that you, Jeff, mentioned the fact that this is kind of a D-Day style invasion. As you set up the film, obviously you're talking about an alien invasion. They're taking over Europe, and what they're going to do is they're literally going to try and take Europe back in a D-Day invasion. And interesting the fact that just on Friday we celebrated 70 years since the actual D-Day invasion in World War II. So if you are kind of a history buff, you would see probably some quasi-parallels between what actually happened then and what this movie kind of purports. But the pacing is, again, as you mentioned it, Jacob, a little slow at the beginning, but it picks up steam really, really quickly. It does leave you kind of wondering where it's going to go, because you mentioned it in the fact that Tom Cruise's character, kind of a little wimpy kind of guy at the beginning.
He's almost like a Private Upham in Saving Private Ryan. Like, this guy doesn't,
he's very unsure of himself. He doesn't have a whole lot of confidence in himself, and you're kind of
deserter,
wondering how it's going to
basically.
go. And then you get into characters like Bill Paxton's character, which he plays a really cheesy character, but let's face it, he plays it well.
Yeah.
You can tell he just really enjoyed doing it. Emily Blunt, who most people would normally think of as this beauty, she actually can play down and dirty and gritty quite well, and it shows up very well in the film. Overall, I just really enjoyed the film, and at some point in time this weekend, my neighbor and I are going to go check it out
again. That's the thing.
And I don't do that with a whole lot of films.
There's
but
some
this
movies
one
you
I
watch,
will.
and you're just like, that was really good. I really like that film. There's no way I'm going to go watch it again. But then there's some movies you watch, and I don't know if it's that the film is like, oh, this is going to be like one of the hailed best films ever, but it was just so fun, so entertaining.
Yeah.
It was like when I saw, what's that movie with the Titans fighting each other, aliens versus machines? What was that?
Pacific Rim.
Pac Rim. I watched Pac Rim in IMAX, and then a guy was like, hey, do you want to go see it? I'm like, let's go see it. And I watched it like literally 20 minutes apart. That was a little fatiguing, but it was still. I could watch Edge tomorrow again. I'm seeing it again.
Yes,
it's just
watch it on a big screen though.
Yeah, go see it. In
Oh,
IMAX
absolutely.
or something, because it's so fun.
Yeah, but
it's worth the price.
It will be worth it to go see it again. I will be looking forward to it. And at this point in time, thinking about the fact that we still got the rest of the summer, and we have obviously the fall-winter schedule here to go right now. Yeah, I would say this is. I'm not going to say necessarily top 3, because you mentioned several good films here: Lego film, Captain America, X-Men: Days of Future Past. Several good films that have come out this year. Easily top 5 so far.
Oh, dude, it's my top number 1 so far that I've seen. Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you are interested, there's actually quite a few films that come
David
out in
was here
limited
to bash
release.
it.
Yeah, really.
We sound like we've been paid by Edge of Tomorrow to
Right.
it. It's been so good.
In limited release, if you can find it, Obvious Child, something called Borgman, which, by the way, doesn't look like Star Trek dealing with the Borg. It's something else entirely. A film called Supermensch, The Legend of Shep Gordon. This is a documentary featuring Shep Gordon, Sly Stallone, Michael Douglas, Alice Cooper, and a whole lot of others. A film called The Sacrament, another film called Ping Pong Summer. There's Anna, and there's a film called Trust Me. And I mentioned this specifically because I found it interesting. It stars Clark Gregg, who we're so familiar with from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Felicity Huffman, Allison Janney, and William H. Macy. It's about a struggling Hollywood talent agent who goes through an obstacle course in the attempt to sign a budding starlet, which actually it looks like it might be kind of funny, and certainly allowed Clark Gregg to stretch away from being just nothing more than an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. So it actually might be kind of fun to watch.
Is
but
that a literal obstacle course or like a
no, not a literal one.
Okay, that would be more fun if it was actually.
I actually thought you were talking about like she has to go on a game show and
no,
yeah,
he's trying to deal with everybody else that's also probably trying to sign this person.
Less interested.
Out in theaters next week. You're a happy man, Mr. Jeff.
Yeah.
You got 1 this week and 2 next week. The 2 big releases are 22 Jump Street and How to Train Your Dragon 2, both of which are on your draft.
Ching.
Now is the time for Jeff to show up. And let's get into movie news here, and we'll start with Jeff and some word on the continuously expanding Marvel Universe. Hinted to Doctor Strange film. I say hinted to because his name was mentioned quite prominently in Captain America the Winter Soldier. We all kind of looked at each other when the name came down. Apparently the film has been greenlit. We got a director?
Yeah, it looks like a man most renowned for his horror films, Scott Derrickson, announced via Twitter that he will be directing Doctor Strange. He directed the film Sinister with a guy whose name I can't remember now. And has a movie coming out later this year with, I think, Jon Snow in it, Delivers from Evil, coming out in July. So, I'll be honest, I tried to watch Sinister, didn't like it. Kind of dull. But we'll see.
Does it make you worried about this?
I got to be honest with you. We'll see. Most of the, these are Marvel films, so they're films by committee for the most part anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of directors, last week talked about Ant-Man, how Edgar Wright had left due to creative differences. We mentioned then that they were talking to Adam McKay. Jeff, I'm now hearing that he's pulled out as well.
Everybody has. I don't really think they're... It wouldn't surprise me if they go ahead and just pull the plug on this thing. Adam McKay's dropped out. I forget the name of the gentleman who they were supposedly talking to after that. He says, nope, not going to do it. It doesn't seem like they can get anybody to stick.
I think that the script that they are demanding go
is poo.
Is terrible, and so nobody wants to direct a terrible script.
That makes me really worried because it's probably I'm worried it's gonna be like a really terrible film.
Because they changed Edgar Wright's original script for this, so
that's
I
why he
was
walked.
super excited when he was on, and now he's not on. He's not on.
There we go.
Switcheroo.
Okay. David's in the house.
Yep, David just made it. So I guess we need to backtrack just a little bit, don't we?
What?
First of all, welcome in, David. Hope everything is going well with you, sir.
Busied.
I understand. Well, we had the chance to go see Edge of Tomorrow. We've all given our opinions. Last night, you were the one guy out of all of us that said, I don't know, whatever. Whatever. Have you changed your opinion? Your opinion remained the same now, or what?
I thought a lot about it. I still stand by the fact that I think that the characters weren't really well developed, and I'm adding to that that I feel like the rules weren't very clearly defined in the movie itself. So, and I felt like they did that because they didn't really want to have to answer to anything.
Okay.
Like the ending itself sort of, I have questions about it, and they didn't answer those questions for me.
What are your questions?
Well, we'll answer them for you,
I
David.
don't want to spoil the movie.
We've talked
for
with
everybody.
Tom Cruise last night, and the staff.
Tom Cruise gave us all the information.
Tom Cruise was like, I made a lot of money for Scientology.
We are now Scientologists because of the film last night.
Would you like to have a test?
Do what?
Would you like to have our Scientology test?
No.
By the way, if you are interested in learning more, Tom Cruise is on, I think, the latest episode of the Nerdist podcast.
Really?
So.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, David, it was amazing. How can you just enjoy a film?
Yes, I can.
Well, okay, what were your questions about it?
Well, it gets into really spoilery territory, but
yeah, I already spoiled Maleficent for everybody.
Yeah, really.
Totally spoiled that movie.
The spoiler show.
All right, so bottom line this. Scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, what's your 1 to 10?
I'll give it a 5.5 out of 10.
That really drops our curve, doesn't it?
Well, there's always got to be one party pooper.
There always is, and it's David.
I'm sorry.
Did you like X-Men?
Yeah.
See, I haven't ever heard a positive review out of you, so I'm actually that.
Do you like anything?
You have. I called in. You were here.
I was here. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I listened to that show. Actually, and Pacific Rim, and I could probably come up with others.
Okay, I stand shamed.
You just can't remember them. Let's put it that way. Your memory is fading. We got to get back into the whole Marvel Universe thing. We just talked about Ant-Man. Jacob, you came up with word about the casting of Thanos. We saw it hinted to in the extra scene of Avengers Assembled. Who they got?
Yeah, we've got Josh Brolin.
He's got the chin for it.
Yeah, no kidding.
For anything.
Supposedly, he's going to be playing in Guardians of the Galaxy, and then a very small role in Age of Ultron, and then will be pretty heavily, pretty prominent in Avengers 3. So
Okay, so we're still really kind of only hinting to him.
Yeah, I mean, he's not got a huge role in Guardians of the Galaxy either.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, his big role will be.
It's just his children's.
Yeah, I think I just like how Josh is. I really like Josh Brolin as an actor. And
Oh, yeah.
I like how he's finally like you had Goonies and now he's coming back and being in a lot of stuff. So
yeah, but unfortunately, the one Spike Lee film that he was in,
Old Boy,
tanked.
Don't see that. See the original.
Yeah, exactly. And David, we're going to stick with Marvel one more time. You noted we have apparently not seen the last of the original cast in the X-Men film series. What's the story there?
Yeah, Simon Kinberg said that X-Men Apocalypse will primarily focus on the first-class cast, but it will certainly have some of the original cast involved too. But they're not giving out any real spoilers on that.
So not necessarily the entire cast, but some of them anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm assuming that means Jackman's back, but...
But how much longer? I mean, he's even hinting the fact that sooner or later he's going to hang it up.
Not anymore.
No.
Oh, has he backed off on that now?
Yeah, he's saying he'll do it as long as he can.
Is someone going to get him into the Avengers franchise?
No.
That's going to be something else entirely because
That'd
you got to
be
cut a
so
deal.
Cool.
You got to cut a deal between two movie studios.
Wait, why
then.
are you angry?
I'm not angry. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the
little
way
face.
it's set up right now in the X-Men universe, they could possibly do it.
They could.
And I think
in the X-Men universe they could, but again, logistically, you're talking about having to cut a deal between two movie studios.
Yeah, but you know,
I don't think
it's possible that they all might want a piece of that pie.
It's a big pie.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, and we've seen it before. I mean, we've seen two movie studios come together to release a film. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying it's going to be a while before we see something like that. Jeff, back to you. The continuing saga that seems to be the lead up to the filming of Star Wars Episode 7. Set to come out December 2015, and even more casting news.
Why, yes, Steve, there is.
Yes?
They've added 2 more females to the cast. From 12 Years a Slave, Lupita Nyong'o.
Nice.
And from Game of Thrones, Brienne of Tarth, or Gwendolyn Christie, have been added to the cast.
Have we been given any kind of an idea of what they're going to play?
Characters in a Star Wars movie.
So they haven't specifically said what they're going to play or named a role or anything
Nothing
like
that.
So excited for both of those castings. I mean,
it's good casting.
Love both of those actresses.
Well, speaking of that, Jacob, let's go to you and stick with Star Wars here. Confirmation there's going to be a standalone film in the series. They have a director for it?
Yeah, we've got for the second, the one that should come out in, I think, 2018, if I remember right. Yeah, 2018, which most likely will come between 7 and 8. No, 8 and 9. Sorry. Josh Trank will be directing the next one. We don't know who's going to be it's one of the character on the.
Well, and that's what we've kind of gone down
Solo
the road
characters.
of, and we've heard the possibility of a Boba Fett film. We've heard the possibility of a Han Solo film.
They're really marvelizing these.
Who do you want to see?
Anybody but someone who's already been in there.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Han Solo as boy. I don't care.
You're not worried about Boba Fett either?
No.
No?
It's funny
you
how
want to see somebody else entirely different and introduce them into the universe?
Sure. Well, let's do like say a Lone Wolf and Cub film with Obi-Wan and Luke Skywalker on Tatooine.
Okay.
It's
Little
funny how
baby
they're
Luke.
marvelizing
Jar Jar
the Star
Binks.
Wars franchise.
Please.
Welcome to the world of Disney.
Yeah,
Binks
no.
Rise.
Well,
Yes.
I think it's good. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I think it's interesting.
Do not ever bring up the name Jar Jar Binks on this show again.
It would be really cool if they had if they somehow found a way to do Jar Jar Binks really cool. Like he has his whole
That
secret
was
life.
scary.
Right.
That was better than my.
Jar Jar Binks played by Christopher Walken? Is that where you're going?
He has it's Jar Jar Binks with a whole secret life. Like he's got the Eastwood poncho or something.
Gosh.
He's actually like a master spy. That whole persona was
Jar
a,
Jar
was a put
Binks,
on.
semicolon.
You scare
secret
me some
agent.
mule. You scare me some mule.
Oh.
You apologize.
Gosh, I got to move away from this. Speaking of sequels, Jacob, you've heard some news about the upcoming sequel to the movie Divergent. We saw it earlier this year. It's just kind of late there, but they've got the second movie coming out. It's Insurgent. Who they got coming on board?
Yeah, we've now got Naomi Watts.
Really?
Yeah, she will be in the Insurgent, the sequel to Divergent.
I
Do you
think
know
this
what
is going to
she's
be
doing?
She's going to play Evelyn.
Acting.
Thanks.
She'll play a lady.
She will play Evelyn. I won't give away any more of that. So
I met,
For those of you who are familiar with the books, now you know.
The thing is, I feel like this is going to be a sleeper that grows, that really does become something more popular. Because I hated on it so long.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it till the last day it was in theaters, and I watched it. I was like, that actually was not that bad.
It wasn't horrible. It just wasn't great. Everyone kept saying so many good things about the film,
It was
and I
trying
just
so hard to be the Hunger Games. I think is what.
Yeah, they tried a little too hard.
Because Lionsgate knew they had a winner kind of franchise with the Hunger Games, but I think it's actually going to grow and do well.
All right, Jeff, we talked about the fact that this weekend you got one and next weekend you got two, but unfortunately you've only got one more after this. We'll talk about the news of Jeff missing out on one of his Summer Movie League draft films when
Is
we
there-
come back.
Yeah.
They do all their own stunts. The Entertainment Roundtable on Superstation 101.
Give me a hand.
Welcome back to the Entertainment Roundtable here at Superstation 101 WIDE. We come back to the soundtrack or the theme song to the TV show Community. We're talking about that here if we can speed through this particular segment and get that far, because there's a lot of stuff that we have yet to deal with, and we're still in the movie section, actually. Jeff, your summer movie bracket challenge took a severe hit. You're now getting just 4 on the board here. Tell me your story of woe when it comes to one of your draft picks.
Looks like Warner Brothers has moved the Wachowskis' new film, Jupiter Ascending. That's the one with Mila Kunis and dude from
Channing Tatum.
Thank you, Channing Tatum.
Yeah, that guy.
Channing Tatum taught.
There you go. Thank you. To February of next year.
Do they say why?
The official reason that I've seen is that they feel like the effects will not be ready by the July date.
Okay.
So they wanted to go ahead and move it, and they figured that's a good place for it to find an audience, you know.
All right. So
Lego-
we have a quorum here. Ryan obviously on vacation, but we have a quorum, so we can outvote Ryan. I leave this up to the board, and Jeff, you have no vote. Jeff is down to 4 movies on a 5-movie draft. Do we give him the chance to select another film?
I think it's only fair.
We got to vote for that.
Yeah.
Jacob?
I vote yes.
You vote yes. David, yes?
Yes.
All right. I
He has
vote
to
that
sing a
as
song
well.
on the air.
Jeff, you have the ability to pick another film that comes out between now and Labor Day.
Okay.
And you would like to replace Jupiter Ascending with?
I have no idea. That's
And you have a week to figure it out, so don't worry about it. We'll get your answer 1 week from
You know
today.
what? No, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna take you on my 4. I feel confident in my picks.
Really?
You just
You're
don't want to
being
research.
given the chance.
You're arrogant.
And you have a week to do your research.
Let's take a look at what I've got, y'all. I got
Can I take back my vote?
How to Train Your Dragon 2, which is going to be a huge animated sequel. 22 Jump Street, which is getting fantastic word of mouth. It was a comedy that did very well, the first one. I've got The Fault in Our Stars,
yeah.
which apparently I had no idea is a huge young adult phenom. Boom. That's 150 grand right there. $1 million, I mean. And then Transformers, which is going to take all the money.
So here's the deal: we all lose, either way.
And
Jeff
yet, I
wins.
still kind of just want to give him one of mine. I'm
Yeah,
just
'cause
like,
Jeff-
just take one of mine.
Because this is what will
It's
happen.
not going to matter.
If Jeff loses, he'll be like, "Well, guys, I came close and I only had 4 films." And if he wins, he's like, "Guys, I beat you guys with only 4 films." We lose either way.
Scientific picking. Tell you what, I'll think about it. And if
I was about to say, we'll get his final answer
yeah,
next week.
if I see something that I'm like,
What you're gonna do is
He's
you're
got a
gonna
week
like
to research.
He's gonna look for like the stupidest film that's not gonna take off, and it's gonna be like the #1 movie of the year.
I found this art house flick that'll appear in 2 theaters.
It's like the 3rd Katy Perry film.
it's called I Stubbed My Toe. Ouchie.
Sharknado 2.
It's an Austrian film.
Sharknado
Yes.
2 is actually coming to theaters, so you could pick that.
All right, let's stick with sci-fi, Jacob. You saw the premiere or the preview to the film called The Giver. It's got a lot of big names. Tell us a little bit about the film and the trailer.
It looks awesome. I'm super excited for this. I didn't know much about this beforehand, but I mean, it looks like a good young adult sci-fi thriller kind of movie.
When does it come out?
Let me see. I have that.
My friend's actually.
Have you seen this?
August.
Have you
I've seen the
previews?
trailer, and
Yeah?
my friend is
Quick
actually
thoughts.
the head of marketing on it.
Quick
So,
thoughts. What did you think of it?
Looked amazing.
Yeah? David, you seen it?
No.
No?
I saw the trailer, but it was like really late at night, and I just vaguely remember it.
It's very similar to kind of like it reminds me of the Hunger Games / Divergent kind of like franchise
With
model.
a little bit of Pleasantville thrown in there if
Yeah.
you look at it the right way.
But it's the same kind of model.
I saw the first trailer like a while ago, months ago.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Is this a
August
new thing?
15th.
August 15th.
Katie Holmes.
Potential candidate over
Katie
there for
Holmes,
Jeff.
Katie Holmes is
Jeff
back.
Bridges.
All right.
Streep.
Here we go.
Oh. Anybody pick Hercules?
Hercules?
Yeah.
With a rock?
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan.
Oh, of course he did.
Of course, Ryan. I mean,
Predictably,
come on.
Ryan would pick the electrifying rock.
By the way, that looks awful. Looks like it has a lot of great actors
We
in it. but
saw
it
the
looks awful.
preview. We saw the preview for it last night. I'm looking at it and going, "That's looking worse and worse."
He wears a lion for a
Boom.
hat. How can that go wrong?
I turned to Jeff and I said it's going to be
Into the Storm.
It's going to be the
Boom. That's my pick.
You're going into the storm.
Into the
Wow.
Storm.
I told him it was going to be
Gross.
the
That's not-
not Ben-Hur, the Braveheart of this decade.
I'll tell you what. We're still going to give you the week. We'll make final answer next week.
Okay.
We don't.
Sure. You sure about that?
He doesn't want to keep talking about it for an entire week.
Yeah, really. Jacob, let's stay with you and talk about Ghostbusters, and I'm not talking about the rumored third film. We're actually going to get to see the original on the big screen again?
Yeah, they're bringing that back in August for the 30th anniversary celebration. It's going to be on 700 theaters on the 29th.
For only like a week, or are they actually going to keep it there for a while?
I don't have that information.
Because usually they do something like that. They keep it out there for limited release. We've seen that, like they did Raiders of the Lost Ark and put that out there in like 3D. They redid it and put it out in IMAX screens. And hey, 1 week only. Get to see it on the big screen again.
I actually really like that because I was too young to see them originally.
And I don't have a problem with it. I was just
second
kind of curious
chance
as to
at
whether
life.
that was the kind of thing that they were going to go through. You got this chance, but you only have this week window.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a short thing, but they are going to release both Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2 on Blu-ray. It's the first time they've done that.
Is it going to be like 3D
it's all the lead
or
up to
something?
it. That's what it is.
The theatrical
They
release?
probably will rework it.
I don't think so.
Oh, anybody pick Lucy? Somebody pick Lucy?
No.
See?
Lucy. I want Lucy.
Keeps coming up with
It's
more.
a week from now.
I want Lucy. Definitely.
Settle down. Settle down.
Scarlett Johansson. Lucy. I want it. End of story.
Final answer next week.
Lucy.
Final answer next week.
Lucy.
David, word that they're working up a film version of the video game Splinter Cell based upon an idea from the late author Tom Clancy. David, it appears they've signed a lead actor to play a young version of the franchise hero?
Right. They have signed Tom Hardy to play a young version of Sam Fisher.
I wonder if he can play it in the Bane voice.
Lyman is saying that everything about Splinter Cell will be younger. It's a chance to come up with a new franchise that is fresher and newer and younger. So,
okay.
None of that actually interests me.
Get on up. No, I'm kidding. Lucy. I want Lucy.
Out on Blu-ray coming up on Tuesday. Only 2 major release films. You got Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit. Saw it. I wanted it to be better. And the film Nonstop, which was actually kind of a surprise. I kind of liked it. For TV series collectors, you got the just completed Cosmos: A Space-Time Odyssey and Season 1 of Ray Donovan, along with Season 1 of Resurrection. Resurrection has Ryan enthused for whatever reason.
Is he electrified?
Yeah, apparently so. He also let me know that if you're a fan of the Muppets films, you can get Muppets Most Wanted, which tanked at the box office.
Yeah, nobody wants
It'll
to
hit
see
Blu-ray on August the 12th. David, to you on TV first. CW Network's upcoming Flash series. We've learned that they found a place and a role for the man who played the film, or played that role on TV about, what, 20 years ago or so now?
Yeah, John Wesley Shipp is going to be in The Flash. He's going to be playing Henry Allen, the Flash's father. I was really hoping he was going to be the first Flash Jay Garrick from the Justice Society days,
Cool,
but
but they didn't go that far. But at least he's in the family. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Our intrepid listener Daniel let me know about NBC's fall plans. Usually we kind of see when they debut the fall schedule, they try and put it all in like a week or 2 week period. Now NBC's going to drag this thing out. The network's going to debut with early September with the debut of Thursday Night Football and a reality show, The Biggest Loser. They haven't debuted their entire new lineup, though, until they get to November 17th when they finally get to the Katherine Heigl show, State of Affairs. So it's going to be over the course of like 2 months before they get everything done. We don't get to talk PBS much, so David, I couldn't resist this. Considering LeVar Burton's love for his old show, Reading Rainbow, it's been off the air several years. He's seeking to get it going again, but he's doing it in a novel way.
Yeah, he's trying to get it. He's trying to get it on the internet and on his app and all this stuff. But he did a Kickstarter campaign with the goal of $1 million to bring back Reading Rainbow. A day after it was posted, it already had almost over $2 million. So they've moved it up to $5 million. There are tons of prizes. You get to if you give a certain amount, you get to go and hang out with LeVar Burton and Brent Spiner and have dinner. You can wear Geordie's visor from The Next Generation, et cetera, et cetera. There's a ton of prizes.
Wow.
By the way, Funny or Die created a fake Reading Rainbow starring LeVar Burton
I'm gonna
theme
have
song.
to check that out.
That's absolutely hilarious. If you want to look at it, I posted it on my Twitter. It's at Jacob Rasberry.
This just, though, proves to me that PBS could be less the public broadcasting system and just become an actual commercial TV station because people do like it, and I wouldn't have to support it with my tax dollars.
$3.5 million raised so far.
I think
on
they got something there.
Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Came back to the theme song, to the show Community. David, that show could be getting another life.
Well, yeah. Conversations are preliminary, but they are talking to Hulu about doing a season 6
That would
for
be great.
Community.
If Dan Harmon writes it.
Well, yeah, Dan Harmon has said that his attitude towards it has gone from meh to all right.
Yeah.
So
getting more and more into the idea.
He got a little bummed because NBC canceled it, but
how many of you guys have watched it?
Oh, I've seen every episode multiple times.
Did you see the G.I. Joe episode in last season? They spoofed G.I. Joe. It was so hilarious.
Mhm.
It's like G.I. Joe, but Community. It's just
it's great.
It's a great show.
Late night talk show seems to have been all the rage here recently, and we've talked Tonight Show, Late Night with David Letterman, Conan, Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, all of those since really the beginning of 2014. So why would we leave out the reboot of the Arsenio Hall show? Went into syndication almost immediately. David, a little bit of news there, though.
Yeah, even though it was renewed for a second season, CBS's syndication arm has announced that Arsenio has been canceled due to the ratings plummeting and affiliates moving the show to later, less desirable time slots.
So Jay Leno, who kind of brought Arsenio back, said,
Mhm.
I'm going to do a second season, and then the syndication arm says, nah.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's got to be another alternative, though. I mean...
Why?
I don't know. I mean,
Stop
I'm just
coming up with
thinking-
ways for him to be on the show.
No, and I don't. I never watched it. I kind of remember the first one, but whatever. But I would think that in these days, when you got a Hulu and a Netflix and all
Right.
those others, there may be other avenues.
I mean, I'm sure Arsenio could do a YouTube channel or something.
Does he not already?
I mean, YouTube is probably a step up from syndication these days, so.
That may be also true. And one more topic before we kind of give our rundown here of the movie league here and Showtime. Jacob, the news about a show called Penny Dreadful. First of all, I don't even know about the show. Does anybody know what the show's about?
It's like a horror HBO-esque kind of
It's
show.
got Eva Green.
Josh Hartnett, Timothy Dalton.
Yes.
Your eyes are a little too big there,
It's
my
like a
friend.
period
Settle
film.
down.
It's interesting.
It's like
looking.
Dracula, Dr. Frankenstein.
Yeah, it's odd.
It's got they're 4 episodes in, and they've Showtime has renewed it for a second season already.
So there you go.
It's
You're a
already
fan.
doing quite well.
Yeah, I
If you're
saw
a
the
fan, you're in.
pilot. I saw the pilot because of a free weekend, and it was good. I really liked it a lot.
Okay. I will have to go and check it out. Josh, did you realize that there's been a change at the top of the leaderboard?
I actually have not. I've been on vacation, so I've pretty much just been
And here's the thing.
checked out of everything.
When we did the whole thing and we did the random draw done by WDJC host, our sister station,
Yep.
Roxanne, she ended up pulling my name out of the hat first when it came to the draft, and I picked the obvious. I went with Captain America, the
Good
Winter
choice.
Soldier. $255 million as of
Yeah.
numbers from when?
As of Wednesday, if I remember. right.
Wednesday. Okay, so $255 million, not bad. So I had been the leader in the clubhouse for the longest time. Now the leader in the clubhouse is Josh. Josh has racked up with his movies $428.3 million because each of his 3 films have each grossed more than $124 million as of Wednesday. Rio 2 is your slacker at $124.7, Neighbors $131.8, and X-Men Days of Future Past $171.7, and as of course you just said it, Jacob, as of Wednesday morning. So the numbers that we mentioned at the top of the
Right.
show were over the weekend. This
Right.
is the most up to date. Then in second place is still me, $365 million. You got Captain America, the big one, $255.3 million. The other woman, $81.5, and then my anchor so far, Draft Day, $28.7 million, and I think it's probably just about gone. It might be in 5 movie theaters now.
Yep.
Yeah,
if
it's
that.
barely making any money at this point.
Coming in at number 3 with $232 million is our absent Ryan. Ryan has 3 movies out in the theaters. The biggest one for him is Godzilla, $178.079 million. And then he's got Blended, $31.7, and Transcendence. That's his anchor, $22.9 million, and that is gone from movie theaters at this
Transcendence
point in time.
and Blended, I would say, is his anchors.
But Blended is going, as we mentioned, kind of that Tyler Perry kind of thing. This thing's going to get $50 million. Transcendence is the anchor there. I mean,
Yeah.
$22 million, it's not going to break 25.
No.
So that's his major problem there, is that film. And David, you're not too far behind. $215.7 million on 2 films. $194 million for The Amazing Spider-Man 2, $21.7 for A Million Days to Die in the West.
Mhm.
This was a film you wanted to see. Have you seen it?
No.
No?
I haven't
Still want to go see it?
Yeah, I haven't I haven't had a chance to go see it.
So it's
A
still
Million
on the
Ways
list.
to Die in the South West might be your anchor. I think it is.
I don't care.
And that brings us to Jacob. Jacob, you're on the board finally. $88.4 million. Your one film, Maleficent. Of course, you got Edge of Tomorrow, which
darn
will
it.
officially get some numbers here this week. Jacob's rest of the lineup, Think Like a Man 2. Tammy, saw the poster for that up in the theater. Melissa McCarthy, and the basic tagline is, she hit the road and the road hit back.
Yeah.
Not sure about
It's
that.
probably going to be a terrible movie, but
I'm
people
sure
will
about
go
it.
watch it.
But
I'm
he's
sure
got
about it,
Edge of
Steve.
Tomorrow, and he's also
Edge of Tomorrow's
got
gonna make a lot of money.
The Ace in the Hole, his last film that comes out in theaters, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Both of those films are gonna make a lot of
Yeah.
money. So, what else do I have left on mine?
Josh, you got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, hey,
That'll make money.
It'll make
Michael
money.
Bay. It's Michael Bay.
yeah.
It'll cost
And you
100.
got Let's Be Cops, which actually I've
Could
seen
be
a
a
couple
surprise
of
or
previews.
hit.
Could be
Could be
pretty
a
good.
surprise or hit.
I've still got Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and The Purge Anarchy left.
Darn it, I'm gonna see both those films. So.
David, you got Planes, Fire, and Rescue on a fairly animation-free summer, actually. Sex Tape and The Expendables 3, so not bad there. Ryan has still got Hercules and Sin City, a Dame to Die For. We keep mentioning it. Jeff, The Fault in Our Stars this weekend. How to Train Your Dragon 2 and 22 Jump Street next week. You still got Transformers.
And Lucy.
And
might
what
be
he
screwed.
thinks will be Lucy next
Lucy.
week.
A
We'll
movie
see.
to be named later.
A movie to be named later.
Lucy!
Exactly. So there we go. Jeff waiting to get on the board, but it looks like he's about to strike and strike hard. So we'll see
Scarlett
how the numbers
Johansson's
change next
Lucy.
week.
He loves Lucy.
We all love Lucy,
Everybody
don't we?
does.
I actually do want to go see that film. I've seen the previews. It looks good. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Very great to have you in here.
Thanks for
Don't be
having
a
me.
stranger.
I try not to.
All right. Glad you could show up, even if it was late.
Yeah.
Thank you for
thanks.
being in studio. sir.
Glad to be here.
Thank you very much, Josh. Look forward to seeing you more often. And
I'll be
Jeff,
back.
thank you very much.
Lucy.
Have a fantastic weekend, and I hope everyone else does as well from all of us here at the Entertainment Roundtable.